Hello, Laserdisc aficionados. God, my hair's a bit flat. There we go. Okay. Right, so, hello. What was I saying? Right, hello. And, hello. So, I'm looking at some Laserdiscs that are coming out tomorrow. Well, if you're watching this on Friday, it's this afternoon. So, get ready, because these are some good discs this week. So, yeah, just showing off some of the cool discs that we've got this week. And, let's get to it. Starting with It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. One of the first ever, mass comedies. There's, you ever seen Rat Race? Where they have a whole bunch of comedians and they all say, right, it's a race, there's that one with Mr. Bean. That's Rat Race. That's Rat Race I'm thinking of. But there's also $1 Million Mystery. There was a bunch of those, there's a lot of these kind of films, but my point is it's a group of a lot of different comedians, so there's a lot of different styles of comedy. Some of it you're going to love, some of it you're going to be like, what the frick am I watching, but overall, it's fun. It was an actual Cinerama film, so when you get this, you can, if you've got a good eye, you can see the lines here and about here that, because there was 3 cameras that would film the movie, and then it would have 3 projectors playing it back. This one would project it to this side, and this one would project it to this side, and then another one in the middle, and a little bit of it would overlap just here and here, I'm cheating. I've got a grid on my screen right now. Yeah, Cinerama's cool. It was a nice little novelty because they had to compete against television back then and make it interesting. And, overall, I like it. It's a fun movie. I've got a copy of this myself. And, this is a really minty condition. It's better condition than my copy, but I made a rule when I first opened the shop not to replace my discs with ones that I get at the shop, And I've stuck to that rule 90% of the time. But, the point is, I'm not going to be able to, have a good name, a good brand name if I'm selling stuff that's, subpar quality. I like to have my discs being, well looked after. And if they're pretty nasty, I often use them as packaging, if you notice you've been there, I'm sure you bought a disc off me and you've gone, hey, how come there's a free disc in here? That's because it wasn't good enough to sell. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Raw Nerve. This is a little bit of a horror film with quite the cast as well. We got Glenn Ford in there. Look, we got Tracy Lords. Ooh. John Michael Vincent. I bet he's not in there for much. He was going through some pretty full-on... and it's AIP Studios as well, so it's not going to be your cutting-edge, high-end horror. It's going to be some B-grade crap, which is fun. And speaking of which, so will this. This is the last bundle, by the way, where I've got a whole bunch of horrors. Starting next week is all the Dave Aspinall discs, but I'll talk more about that next week. Not much to say about this one either. It's Terror in Paradise. I'm betting the cover looks better than the movie, but you'll have to buy it to find out. God, my hair's flat. Look at it. Okay, so next up is... I washed it, you see. That's what I shouldn't have done. The Curse. This is pretty cool. I've watched it once on a group chat thing, and it's just a very 80s horror film, which is really, what more do you want? Some fun cheesy 80s goodness. This one also, Scared Stiff. What do we say about Scared Stiff? We say there's no one I know in it, and there's no directors I know who made it. and it came out in 1986. So, look, maybe that's something I should watch before I get rid of. I don't know. I do sometimes do that. I'll get like the urge on a Friday night instead of going into my personal collection, which I don't think there's anything left there. I've probably got like 5 or 6 discs left that I haven't seen in that collection. But I often come out here into the shop and I'll just fingle through and just go, oh, there's something I haven't seen, and just grab it and borrow it and play it and put it back, and no one knows, until now. Hostile Takeover. I think this is more of a like suspense film than a horror film. 99 minutes. Oh, David Warner. So, yeah, if you don't know David Warner, you might know him from The Man with Two Brains. He was in Tron, I think. And Time After Time with Malcolm McDowell. Yeah, very cool actor. Just a very 80s classic actor. All right, next one is the Tumult movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And pretty good condition, as you can see from here. Yeah. So, what can I say about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? Okay, I got something. When I was a 10-year-old boy and I would play with my neighbour in the street, we both got the Tumult film for Christmas. Was it Christmas? I think it would have been Christmas time when this came out on VHS. And we both loved the movie. But being competitive kids, as boys are, we had to prove that we loved it the most. And whoever watched the movie the most loved it more. And so I would watch it sometimes 2 or 3 times a day for months on end. Just the same movie over and over. My poor sister had to put up with. And, yeah, I loved it. From the break. I've got all the... Oh, hang on. I've got something for this. I got something you'll like. Hang on. I've still got all the movie cards from when... Okay, so this is from the cartoon. And there we go. This is from all the movie stuff. Remember we used to get these cards and with chewing gum and stuff like that? And I'm missing a few. If you go through, there's a few holes where I didn't have every single card. And there's a few doubles in there as well and stuff. But God, I loved Ninja Turtles. I was just the biggest Ninja Turtle fanboy, loved it. Yeah, so I loved every bit of it. Anyway, talking way too much about that one movie, let's move on to another one. This is the Criterion Collection version of Jason and the Argonauts. I've had this disc up a few times on my shop, but not the Criterion version. Don't think I did. Maybe I did. I've been around for 5 years. I can't remember every disc I've done. Anyway, so yeah, Jason and the Argonauts. Ray Harryhausen is the guy that did all the stop motion, and he was like the best in the business at the time. What was amazing was how he would mix stop motion with moving actors and have them like fully fighting each other and stuff like that. Quite the impressive skill at the time. This was sort of like the standout film for like Ray Harryhausen. But there's another one where there's this great scene where they sneak into a ginormous beehive where each of those little combs, where the bee lives, is like the size of a human standing up, and like these giant bees start taking them, and it's just really cool. Anyway, so moving on to the next movie. Mysterious Island, that was called, but also Jason and the Argonauts on Laserdisc, Criterion, get it? Okay, moving on. We got Star Trek. I'm building up the Star Trek collection again. If you haven't noticed, there's a few Star Trek titles in the shop. This is number 6. Anybody who knows the Star Trek movies knows the basic rules. Evens are the good ones, odds are the bad ones. And I am definitely along those lines of those rules. Same with age. You always notice you get better years when you're in your... Anyway, speaking of evens, we have Showgirls. Yeah, everybody needs this on Laserdisc. I've got a copy myself. I've got this on Blu-ray, and it has the most amazing commentary track about why this is the greatest, worst movie ever made. And yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. It was done by Umbrella, you know, the Umbrella Sinful series, or whatever they're called. Yeah, great fun film, fun movie, and great to get drunk to. All right, now something a bit more serious. We have Awakenings with Robin Williams and Robert De Niro. This is a very sweet film. It says based on a true story, but I don't think it went anywhere near what a true story would be. So basically, they find a drug which gets this guy, so he suddenly comes back from being in a, you know, frozen coma, you know. And, you know, he's all active and excited and happy and wants to fulfill lots of lives and breaks lots of rules and you know, doesn't want to be trapped anymore, you know. Now he's got his freedom back. He's really excited. And then, of course, the drug stops working and building up a tolerance, and it's always a bit sad. But look, this is a 35-year-old movie. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. You probably heard of the movie when it came out. It was on so many movie trailers before, you know, when you rented a VHS. All right, speaking of great movies from the early 90s, this was a lot of fun. I remember we recorded this off the telly. So this is a Steven Spielberg project made by, like, all of his, you know, B team, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, they have, you know, it's not scary, you know, like, spiders are gross. I don't like spiders. And these spiders are very gross. But I wouldn't call it a scary movie. I'd call it a comedy, if anything, you know. There's a big scene at the end, but overall, it's just a fun, silly film. This is already in the shop. Air America, about, you know, transferring, is it heroin? I think they're just selling heroin. Yeah. The few, the proud, the totally insane. I think it was about drug. It's been a long time since I've watched this movie, back when it was on VHS and it was a new release. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should give that a rewatch, eh? I might do that tonight. Can. This is Gene Kelly. So, isn't it? Okay. This is not Gene Kelly, but it's a Gene Kelly-ish kind of film. It's Frank Sinatra, and falls in love with Shirley MacLaine, who's a can dancer. And look, it's another one of those nice, light, fluffy 50s musicals, which I'm a sucker for, because, you know, you've got the best people who have such a huge amount of talent and doing what they love doing, you know. Like, they would flog these films out because they loved making them and people love watching them. So it was a win-win-win. Okay, we have Cabaret. This is Liza Minnelli. I haven't seen this one, but it's $5. So, you know, $2.50 if you buy another bargain basement disc. Here's a late release. This is Mod Squad. That's Omar Epps from, you might remember him from House. Claire Danes, you know, from Romeo and Juliet. And this dude's from Ted. Okay, I know his name, but I can never pronounce it. Giovanni Ribisi? Is it Ribisi? Anyway, he's great. He's got a lot. He brings a lot of weirdness to his performances, and that's always fun. I'll give you $1 million for one night with your wife. Imagine someone, like that saying it. That's so creepy. Anyway, we got Indecent Proposal. Robert Redford, who sadly passed away recently. We have Woody Harrelson. Demi Moore, just hotter than she was in Striptease. Okay, we have a demo disc for you demo disc collectors out there. This is the Warner Brothers demo disc. Could
you spell that, please?
Yes. It's B.
B?
Burr.
Sorry, could you say B?
Burr.
O.
Burr.
Uh-huh.
Bob. Burr. Burr.
Basically talking about the history of the Warner Brothers company. And, I wonder if we can etch in, sold to Paramount on the back or something, Harlem Nights has some great humor in it. It's not for everybody. It's an Eddie Murphy film turned down to like 4. Although there's some funny moments in it, like there is in something like Trading Places or Coming to America or like those. I'm having a brain fart. I can't think of other ones. Oh, Beverly Hills Cop. This one is a little bit more just chilled. There are some great characters in it overall.
Oh, you want to hit people with garbage cans. Now I got to cut you.
Girl, put that razor away. I ain't playing no more. You put that fucking razor away, I'm gonna blow your goddamn pinky toe off.
Oh, now you're going to shoot me in my pinky toe.
I'm not playing with you. I will blow that little black, gnarled, crusty, dead motherfucker the fuck off your foot. Now put the razor away.
You must be crazy to pull your gun on me.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. It's really cool film. Not a bad one at all. So, you take this Laserdisc and you open it back and to the left. Back and to the left. Yes, I think I'm funny right now. Okay, Urban Cowboy. We have here. Now, this disc has, like, I can't show you on camera. It's in the picture. When you go look at the picture, you'll see the disc has sort of a wave, like water, but it's not water, but like heat has hit it or something like that. But I tested it out on 2 players and it's perfect. It's like every single early 80s release. It's fine. This one I haven't seen. Another one I haven't seen. The Craze, Bounded by Blood. But I'll be honest with you, I have not seen anybody post this up on Laserdisc Forever or anybody, say, oh, I'm going to chuck this on tonight and watch this, The Craze. I have never seen this disc pop up anywhere. So, yeah. Does it mean it's bad? I don't know. Alright, next we have The Last Emperor. You see this pop up a lot. This is that dude, Benici, isn't it? What's his name? Bertolucci.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Sorry,
Bernardo Bertolucci. Yeah. Very famous director. Epic film. Had lots of money poured into it. It's very slow. But, like everybody has their thing, And some people might even like watching, sperm with voices. And this movie's for you. Look Who's Talking with John Travolta, Kirstie Alley, and has the voice of Bruce Willis. I like the second one better. The Dogs is the third one, isn't it? Little Women, something for your wife, hey? Something for your wife. Make your wife happy with a bit of Little Women, eh? It'll be in the $5 section, don't worry. Look who's talking too. Because every movie needs Roseanne fucking Barr. Okay, next up we have Welcome Home with Chris Christopherson. Never seen it, never heard of it. Looks pretty lame. It'll be in the $5 section. Hey, Vestron Video. You know who Vestron Video is, don't you? Yeah. A little tribute going out to, this is actually another copy that I had that I wasn't planning on selling yet, but because, you know, during the holiday, we had a very sad passing of Rob Reiner. I was going to put up, you know, a few more as we go, just some Rob Reiner stuff, just because I'm personally very sad about it, you know, especially the way he went, because, you know, I was a big fan of his dad as well, Carl Reiner, and would follow him on Twitter. And yeah, it's just a shame, you know. Okay, so we're getting near the end. We have Gettysburg, which is an American film, I guess you could call it, you know. Kind of screams out American, isn't it, with all those guns, yeah. All right. What's in the box? Oh, what's in the box? And lucky last, to those of you who want Star Wars, but like it when Han doesn't shoot first, and when CGI is overplacing pretty much anything that's decent about the original films, you want the special edition. Because, hey, why not get an altered version of Star Wars on Laserdisc when you can get the original version of Star Wars on Laserdisc? No, seriously, it's fine. It's a lot cheaper. I've got this selling for a lot cheaper than the standard, you know, original cut of Star Wars. And next year, or this year, coming out later this year, there's a new release of an original second grade pressing of the original cut of Star Wars, which I'm like, wow, you know. Seeing some photos, because, you know, being fellow lasers collectors, I'm sure you follow this guy. He's created a fan base version of the original Star Wars film, the original cut, to be as good as it can be. And it was pretty good. But when you compare it to this second gen version, which is, you know, you've got the first gen, which is the camera negative, and then you've got the second gen, which is what comes off that, what it records to make the full film. That film is what's taken to the lab to make multiple copies of it in, you know, to go around the world, you know. So it's pretty close to the original, as good as it gets, you know. Yeah, so there's a Laserdisc group that I follow that is all about restoring Star Wars. I'm not invested in it. I just like to watch the original version. But I would like to see eventually a pristine copy of the original that can really, you know, you can watch on your 4K TV and just see, you know, you can go up to the corner and like, oh, look at that, you know, really look at the definition I can see is all, you know. Yeah, so I'm all about that kind of stuff, and, you know, seeing technology get pushed to its absolute limit to recreate a piece of artwork that's been long and lost, gone, in the sense of bringing it back to its fresh, you know, as a daisy look. I was a fan of it even when they did it to My Fair Lady. I was a fan when they did it to An American in Paris. I love it when they restore classic films that Anyway, so that's the end of this run of my 30 discs. As you can see, there's some fun stuff in there. There's some crap stuff in there, but, you know, next week is the David Aspinall thing, and I'll fill you in on all that next week. But until then, I hope you've had a good, enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed watching me just prattle. And I have fun prattling for a change. I just feel weird because, you know, like, I'm in an empty room right now, but, like, I can hear myself, like, you know, when you're in the next room and you hear someone talking to themselves, it's a little bit like, what the fuck are they doing, you know? Anyway, have a good one. Enjoy raiding the shop. Please buy old discs. Look harder. There's so much more there. And, you know, you owe it to yourself to grab some more discs than just what is on display this week. Get in there. Just start digging deeper, you know. You're meant to be collectors for crying out loud, you know. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.